I'm Stacy Schroeder.
And I'm Craig Schroeder.
We are the parents of Austin Flash Schroeder.
So Austin always liked to race Dane Randall, and Dane Randall was like the fastest kid in Van Allen Elementary. As the boys went out, touched trees, and came back, Austin and Dane got the baseball at the same time, and they took off running, and they went out to touch the tree, turned and came back, and at the last minute, Austin beat Dane by that much, and one of the coaches says, we have to nickname him Flash, and so that's how he got his nickname. 2 years later, we went to spring break, went to Mexico, took the kids for the first time out of the country. Austin acted a little bit, different. He rested each day a little bit from here and then, and it was kind of odd. And then he came up to us, complained about pain in his groin. And so obviously the plan was to come back and probably get it checked out if it was still swollen and still caused some pain. They thought maybe that when we snorkeled that he kind of scraped his right foot and thought maybe that there might be an infection. So took him to the university, did some tests and stuff, and then they thought maybe it was some kind of infection, a bacteria infection or something from the water in Mexico or something. And so they put him on some medication. And it was just a couple days later when Austin had called her from school that day, and that was in 8th grade, and he was complaining about pain in his right knee. And Austin really never complained about pain. It was just kind of odd. So decided to take him to the doctor, and they did some x-rays. They said things looked suspicious, and that they said that we're gonna have to come in on Monday for some biopsies. Monday morning, we're getting ready to take him in, and we sat him on the bed, and we said, listen, they're gonna put you under, and when you wake up, if you have a lump in your chest, unfortunately that means that you have cancer. And so we took Austin in the next day. Then the Dr. Miller came walking in, and we could tell right away that it wasn't good news. They came back and said it was T-cell lymphoblastic lymphoma, and we had a 90% success rate. And so no surgeries, it was just gonna be 3 years of chemotherapy and some radiation. We got through the 30 days, and it was a struggle. Austin was still in a lot of pain, didn't sleep much. And we went back into the hospital, and the doctors came in after they did the PET scans, and we could tell when they walked in that, again, it wasn't good news. The chemo didn't even touch the cancer. It kept growing. In fact, now it's in the stomach and it's in the chest. And so they collaborated with Sloan Kettering in New York, and they actually were doing a study for T-cell lymphoblastic patients at that point in time. So they called it the big guns. And it was another 28 days of chemo regimen. And we could tell after the first week that things were working. Austin had more energy, he was in less pain, and we were like, oh man, this is actually working. And then on day 14, Stacy and Austin stopped at a place to eat, and Austin couldn't get what he wanted, the order out. He struggled to get words to come out. And so I had to turn around and take him right back to the hospital. And the chemotherapy drugs were so strong that it could be actually deadly to him. So they had to stop. And they did some more PET scans. And we walked in, and they said, well, the good news is all the cancer in the chest and the stomach is all gone. The cancer in the groin is all gone. And then the cancer in the knee, there was all but just a small little speck of it left. So they thought we were about 98% to remission. And so they felt that by putting someone else's bone marrow in Austin, that those white cells would turn around and fight the cancer because Austin's is not fighting it anymore. Day 100 from bone marrow is a mile marker that if your body's not rejecting it, accepts that new bone marrow and allows it to grow. We were so happy. We all wrote day 100 on our Flight with Flash shirts and everything else. And I'm at the office, and Stace called me and said that Austin's not feeling very well today. And then he didn't really do all that well for a couple of weeks, and all of a sudden he started having really bad pain in his head, really bad headaches, and he had a seizure. They said that unfortunately that the cancer has grown again. The knee had blown up, the groin had blown back up, the cancer is in his stomach and his chest. And unfortunately now he went from stage 3 to stage 4 because it's in his bone marrow, and it's also in his CNS fluid. up and around his brain. And after about a week or so, he got sent back down to the bone marrow unit. And every time anybody came in, they had to have a gown and a mask and everything else. After 30 days, the white count was finally high enough that we're able to actually get the news that we could actually leave the room, and we could actually leave the bone marrow transplant wing and actually go out on the walk in the halls of the hospital. And on that walk, he asked to sit down, so we sat down at a bench in the hospital hallway, and he was bummed, and it was a struggle. And we just reminded him about win the day. You know, most of us don't get better in school unless we apply ourselves, right? Unless we actually do the homework, unless we actually study for tests, you know, show up, be a really, really good teammate, you know, with someone, you know, just all about attitude and effort. We started to be able to do a little chemotherapy, and then his white count went down again. And then he started getting some infections. And when that happened, we had to start doing some other things to fight the infections and the viruses that he had. In the meanwhile, we couldn't give him any chemo because of it until his white count would go back up. We spent Thanksgiving in the hospital. And then the doctors came in and told us that at that point that they're sorry, but there's no statistical cure for our son. The doctor sat Austin down and said, "Listen, Austin, we're all on the same train of life together. And unfortunately, the train's gonna stop and God's gonna ask you to get off sooner than anybody else." And Austin's response was thank you. It's amazing that that's the response that he would give somebody to get the Train of Life speech. And to be sent home on hospice. On April 28th of 2015, Austin went to heaven. And immediately that day, we had family and friends come from West High, and one of them texted us and said, you know, if you add up the digits of the date, 04282015, they equal 22. And 22 was Austin's number in football, basketball, baseball ever since he was a little kid. And then as one of our friends came in the room, they said, you have to get out of bed and come up to the window and look up in the sky. And so we got out of bed, went to the window, and we looked up, and there was a perfect halo cloud right above the children's hospital. All signs that was Austin's day. And it was meant to be, and he was in a better place. You know, tomorrow is guaranteed, but not for all of us. And so you need to make sure that you hug people, you tell people that you love them, because when we're gone from here, the one thing that people will remember are the memories and how you made them feel. And man, Austin continues to make people feel really, really, really good, and that is an unbelievable gift. That if we can continue to give that to others, then that's the greatest privilege we get as parents. So.